All right, guys, it is December 10th, 2020, and it's pretty much the end of the day. It's starting to get dark outside, so today marked 68 days I have left, and that's pretty much done, so tomorrow will be 67. I have been very busy. I've worked on the car every day. I've got a lot done. I got the rear axle. I got the primer on those ends that I had to do the metal work and body work. It's not perfect. It's just kind of roughed in. I do have to go back and do a little bit more filler work. It's just getting hard for me to see on there, so I had to get primer on it so I can go back and block it and get it. But there's spots I got a putty that have, pinholes and stuff too, but it's just not as clean as I want, so I've got to go back and do a little bit more work. But I'll probably do that tomorrow, and then I'll put primer on it again because it's been sitting there a couple of days already. That way I can probably get that thing painted this weekend, and once it gets painted, I'm going to give it a couple days to cure out, and then it's going back in the frame. And as soon as that happens, I can hook up all the brake lines, the shocks, and then at that point the body can be bolted back down, and then lightning and thunderstorms can go off because I'll be in here bolting parts on and be very happy. So I've been fortunate with weather this week. It's been very nice, 50s and 60s on temps. Very, very cold in the morning, but luckily I've got my new wall heater hooked up, and it is very, very nice in here in the mornings now. I don't come out here and freeze my butt off. But anyway, I got some parts painted yesterday. This is my baffles for my core support. They bolt on the sides. The other one's hanging over there. They turned out like crap. These are custom made. I custom made these. I tried a new paint. It is a single stage satin black right here, this vintage, and I don't like it. It goes on blotchy. I've got shiny spots and dull spots. When you get it outside in the light, it looks very blotchy. So I'm going to wet sand them down, and I'm actually going to use regular old black matrix black base coat, and I'm going to use this matrix matte clear coat. I've used this stuff before and I love it. I was just trying to do single stage to make it simpler, so I didn't have to go back and do two things of, clean the paint gun and then put clear in and all that kind of crap. But air cleaner is in final prime. My splash apron, it's in the house, but it is in final prime. I got no more body work to do on anything. Like, all the parts are done except the freaking rear end. I mean, it doesn't need a ton. It just needs a few little spots here and there, but the body is covered in dust because I've been pushing it out every day. I do have a few pieces bolted on, nothing big. I didn't want to put a lot of parts on the car and make it heavy because I do have to put it on the frame still. But I did get my wheelwood master cylinder on. I put my little convoluted tube on. Also have my brake pedal assembly on and the clevis. Everything's adjusted. The brake pedal's all hooked up. I cleaned all the nuts that are welded into the body for all the stuff to bolt to. I cleaned all those with thread cleaner taps. I put my Ring Brothers highly customized hood adjustment bumpers on. They're still loose. I got my windshield drain gutters in. These are actually for a 56. I don't like the 55 ones, so I always upgrade those to 56. I got these little covers on here with a little Phillips stainless screw number 8. I polished on the buffing wheel. I put it on with butyl. That's why it looks kind of garbagey. But the fender completely covers all this. You don't see this, but I got my A-pillar stainless trim sanded and polished and bolted on. I got my floorboard painted, firewall underneath the dash is all painted, and it turned out like crap. It basically looks like I painted it in a sandstorm, and that's about what happened because the wind was blowing out here when I painted it. This stuff stinks. If you've ever messed with POR 15, it's a brush-on coating. You can spray it as well, but I brushed it on so I didn't get no overspray on anything. This stuff stinks to high heaven. And I started doing it in the garage, but the smell quickly got in my house. So I ended up pulling the car out here in the driveway and doing it out here, and the wind was blowing. So I got lots of garbage in the paint, but I've got Dynamat sound deadener that goes on, and then my carpet, my firewall pad and all that goes on. So you're not going to see it anyway, but at least it's clean, Got my dash trim on. This is... I know I have a couple of subscribers for sure that don't know about 55 Chevy's specific stuff. This dash trim is original for a 55 Belair. Has all the little bow ties in it, except this is a custom set that doesn't have any holes in it. From the factory, they have a radio, then they have a cigarette lighter, and then they have the headlight switch deal over there. This is a set with no holes. and the car is all clean and custom, so I kind of fell in love with it, and that's why I bought it. Bad thing is it has a freaking ding in it somewhere, so I'm gonna have to try to get that off there and try to work that little ding out, because I know the judges at that show is probably going to catch that. When you're standing here looking straight on it, you don't really see it, but if you get off to the side, you can see it. Anyway, I got the brake pedal assembly in. That is customized. I drilled all the speed holes in it. They're stepped. I even painted the inlays silver inside the holes. The rest of the pedals galaxy gray and clear coated. I got the glove box door sanded and buffed on both sides. The hinge, it is speed hold and silver paint in it as well. It's galaxy gray. It's kind of my accent color in here. I've got 12-point ARPs and everything. These were, you know, the glove box door is so thin, those ARPs, you can only get them in 1/2 inch length. It's actually too long. It would put high spots in the glove box door. So I had to go in there and cut those down and to make them work. So there's lots of work just in the freaking glove box door to get those bolts in there. But anyway, I got my braces bolted into the cowl to the dash. Those are all blasted and painted. Floor pan plugs are in. I've still got to put the rears in. I had to order those. I didn't have the rear ones. That's about it for the body. Now the good stuff. So I got the valve covers bolted on. Plug wire looms are bolted on. I've got my plug wires routed. Everything's cut to fit and hooked up. Very, very happy with the way they turned out. I'm not real super happy with the way all the wires are behind the engine block, but you're not going to see it once the engine goes in or the body goes on. But from here, I think it looks freaking awesome. There's no plug wires laying over the valve covers or nothing. It's just sanitary looking. I love it. I'm glad I built my own spark plug wire looms and painted them orange, because they just disappear. I mean, it's like there's nothing there, other than you can see a black spark plug wire going into it, but you know what I mean. I kind of struggled with them valve cover hold down tabs, which are these right here. Originally they'd have been some really, really short things, and the longer ones, they always seem to seal better for me for the old style valve cover. So I bought those. These are Edelbrock, and they came black powder coated, and I struggled with, I was thinking I should paint those the orange as well. But after I bolted them on and checked it out, I kind of like it. I like to have a little bit of different colors on stuff so it doesn't look like it's overwhelming, you know. So I think that little bit of black on them valve cover hold downs, I think it's just fine. Got my PCV system all plumbed in and hooked up. It turned out really nice. I'm happy so far. It's just turning out really, really slick. I can't wait to fire it up actually and hear that camshaft. Not that it's, by today's standards, a big cam, but, you know, old school 488 lift cam, it's got a little bit of a chop to it, just a little one. But I always like that, especially with dual exhaust. But anyway, what else? I guess that's it, guys. Tried to make it kind of short and sweet, if there's any such thing with my videos, but yep, that's pretty much it. So tomorrow, I need to check the weather, because we're supposed to be getting a rain day, and I don't remember which day it is. So tomorrow, hopefully, I'll be doing some more black painting. I want to get the core support painted and these baffles and stuff all reshot, because I do want to get the core support bolted in with the radiator and the hoses and everything. Other than that, the rear end is basically the biggest holdup. And once that thing's painted and I get it installed in there, once that body goes on that frame, it is go time. And I mean that literally. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bolt the body down, and then I'm going to bolt the gas tank in, hook up the fuel system. I'm going to get all the forward brake lines on, get fluid in the system, get all the brakes pumped up and working, and then at that point I'm going to move to the headliner, try to get the headliner installed. And then the headliner is my biggest worry. I'm not worried about anything else except that headliner. But once that headliner goes in and I'm happy with it, I'm putting all the glass in it, everything, the wiring, the firewall pad, the heater box, the heater hoses, everything, the side trim, tail lights, steering box, steering column. I want to get it to where the body shell and the frame is actually a runner driver. I might drive it around my housing addition a little bit without the front clip and doors on it. I know it's not legal, but I'm only going to drive like 10 or 15 miles an hour, but just kind of shake it down a little bit. I've got some custom bars somewhere. I have to look. I think they're out in my backyard. I made some custom bars that will bolt up here where the fenders bolt to and go to the core support. That way it holds the core support steady. Because otherwise the core support would just be bolted down there and that thing would flop back and forth and, you know, chip up some paint. But I'll put them little custom made bars on there just for now so I can get the cam broke in and, you know, basically kind of get a little bit of, get it to where it'll move under its own power, and I can kind of shake it down and see what all I need to fix, because I'm sure I'm going to have bugs to work out and probably leaks and everything. But anyway, guys, that's it. Gonna stop, eat dinner.